Sorry if you hear the washer and dryer in the background. While I'm waiting on him to set up the tripod, what is y'all's favorite Cheez-Its? Because there's many different kinds. I like the hot and spicy ones. No, this is not sponsored, but the hot and spicy ones hit. Hands-free.
Jesus, let me know. But they show no fish. They say you found it, but she's still gonna hold on. They say you found it, but she doesn't want.
Hi guys, what is up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I wanted to do a video on my labor and delivery video as I promised in my last YouTube. If you don't know, now you know. I am officially back to YouTube. Nothing's gonna hold me back this time. And again, I do apologize if you guys hear my washer and dryer in the background. I'm trying to make this video as fast as I can before my daughter wakes up, but I'm definitely gonna get into every detail that I can get into because I feel like my labor and delivery story was pretty wild. So let's get into it. If you guys are new here, hi, my name is Jenna, Alexandria. Please make sure that you give this video a huge thumbs up. Also subscribe and hit the bell icon so you guys can get notified every single time I post a new video. Alrighty, so let's just say June 1st. No, I'm not gonna start there. I forgot what date it was. I believe it was like, okay, let's put it to you this way. She was born on a Thursday, and a few days prior to that, I went to the hospital because I had a really bad headache and I was having contractions on and off, not consistent enough to go to the hospital with the rule of thumb that they have, but I went to the hospital because my headache would not go away. My sister was very concerned for me and she thought that I had preeclampsia, so she was like, why don't you just go to the hospital? I know you're in a lot of pain right now. Because I literally, like, anybody that knows me knows that I literally did everything in my willpower to go into labor. I drank raspberry leaf tea, did okra water, prenatal yoga. I'm trying to think what else. What did I do? I did a lot of stuff. I really wish I would have filmed a majority of my pregnancy journey, but I know for sure when I do have my next baby, I am going to film that journey. I'm so mad at myself for not recording myself like going into labor and everything, but it all happened so fast. I'm convinced I had precipitous labor like my sister because it was like this. So let's just say I went to the hospital and then I was having contractions. Like, they did pop up on the screen. I'll insert the picture right here because I was convinced I had preeclampsia and they still did not want to admit me. They said that, like, I literally, that's when I went on my due date. I was due May 28th. I went on my due date. I just remembered. That was the day that I went. And they were like, well, your contractions are not consistent enough to be admitted, so we're just going to discharge you. You probably just have a headache because you're dehydrated. So they discharged me. And let me just say this, I'm so thankful that they did discharge me because I give props and major credit to the women that get induced, because me personally, I do not have the patience for that at all. I do not have the patience to be a guinea pig and have all these test medications being taken and put into my body, just waiting on to see which one will make the baby come faster and blase, and waiting until you get 4 centimeters dilated. Then after 4 centimeters, then they start the Pitocin. So I went to the hospital, they discharged me, and then they were like, trust me, you'll know you're in labor because you won't even be able to talk to us. That's how bad they'll be. And like, I knew from the start I really wanted to have a natural birth. I don't knock people that got the epidural or any type of pain medication, but me personally, I wanted to do it natural. I wanted to put myself to the test. I wanted to see how powerful my mind was. So fast forward till June 1st, it was a Wednesday, and I remember me and Nathaniel, like, I was just so defeated. So I was like, babe, like, let's just go to church tonight, have them pray for us, and have them pray that the baby will come, because I was about to hit 40 weeks. I had an appointment on Thursday, and it was early in the morning. It was around like 9:45, I remember. And it's just so crazy because my doctor never gave me an induction date. Like, he wanted me to go into labor on my own, and then he said that he would induce me if I was still 41 weeks pregnant. So I was like, oh my gosh. So we went to church, we had them pray for us, and then Nathaniel and I went for a long drive afterwards, just talking, and I was just crying because like the sermon of that message in church that day really did tug on my heartstrings. I forgot what it was about, but I just remember being so emotional about it. And then I was also emotional because me and Nathaniel did that flour tortilla challenge. If you have my TikTok, follow me. The flour tortilla challenge is still on there, where like we were hitting each other, and it really did, like, it really, like, I just got emotional over it, and I was just so berserk. So I'll be just look up. You guys will get to meet her. Hold on. You want to say hi to the camera? Say hi. You got boogies on your nose. I was just overall very emotional that day because I was just like, I'm ready to have this baby. I'm feeling defeated. I've tried everything and nothing is going to plan. So that following morning, I went into labor, and I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was having contractions. I tried like doing what I could. I remember pacing back and forth from the bedroom to the bathroom, bedroom to the bathroom, and Nathaniel was knocked out. Like, I literally, I don't even know. Like, it was just so crazy to me. I was just looking back at it because I'm just like, dang, like, I could have been recording that whole entire time, but I just chose not to. My main focus was trying to time the contractions because my sister recommended that I downloaded a contraction timing app. So I did, and I'll post the picture right here of my contractions. It's definitely meeting the requirements of the rule of thumb that they have. I forgot what it is. It's like 5 minutes long for an hour, whatever. Five by one rule. So let me see. So about 8 o'clock, I woke up Nathaniel and I was like, hey, I think it's time. And my husband, my sister, and my brother-in-law, we all have a group chat, and he messaged my sister and he was like, hey, I think it's time. Jenna's having really bad contractions. And Jillian was like, my sister's name is Jillian. Jillian was like, is she like in pain? Is she like moaning? Is she screaming? Like, what's going on? And then I remember she tried calling, and like, I literally didn't even have the means to answer the phone. Like, I just didn't want to talk to nobody. I was trying to breathe through the contractions because there's this lady that I follow on TikTok, and she said to try your hardest not to spaz due to the pain, because if you spaz, then the pain will increase and it will become excruciating. So try to remain calm as much as you can. My sister had lended me her yoga ball, so I immediately went on the yoga ball, did hip rotations. I did forget to mention, whenever I went to my OBGYN appointment the week prior, I remember I was 1 centimeter dilated and I was like 50% effaced, so keep that in mind. So I remember I was doing hip rotations on the yoga ball. That was pretty much the only thing really keeping me not in pain. Like, it actually really helped. Like, the contractions were not that bad at all when I was doing hip rotations on the yoga ball. After that, I went and took a shower because my hair looked like a mess, and I was like, if I'm having my baby today, I at least gotta look good. I didn't do my makeup, and I was so upset that I didn't get my lashes done because I feel like I looked so busted. But I took a shower, and like, I had Nathaniel continuously like time my contractions. I would tell him like, start the timer, stop the timer. And so my sister, she works in the hospital, so she was like telling me, she was like, well, she wasn't telling me. When I say telling me, I mean telling Nathaniel. So she was telling Nathaniel to call the hospital and ask if they have a room available for me. And so he ended up just like freaking out. Like, he just didn't know what to do. He was trying to get the hospital back in the car, like get everything settled. So she ended up calling the hospital for me, and I had told my sister, or I had Nathaniel tell my sister that I wanted to wait for my appointment at 9:45. And so she was like, well, if the contractions are this close together, like you could really be significantly dilated, and you do not want to take the risk with having an at-home birth or going, like having the baby at the OB/GYN office. So I was like, yeah, you're right. So I remember as soon as it hit like 9 o'clock, Nathaniel and I headed to the hospital. Luckily, it was right down the street from the house that we previously resided in. And I remember getting in the car, and here I am just like, ooh, like trying to breathe in and breathe out. Like I forgot what the breathing technique was, but I remember the breathing technique, like it was like breathe in for 10 seconds and then release for 5 seconds. And I remember like doing that. It really didn't help, but it was trying to like keep my mind off of it. And also I wanted to do the comb technique where you squeeze the comb, and like the feeling that you feel on your hand, it will distract you from your contraction pain. So I didn't do that. I really wanted to, but I really feel like it wouldn't have helped. But anyway, we got to the hospital, and I remember getting to the hospital. We parked in the parking garage, and my husband, well, I hate saying my husband, like that's just so weird to me. So Nathaniel, I remember he texted my sister, and he was like, is there any wheelchairs in the parking garage? And she was like, no. And then she asked if I couldn't walk, and he was like, no, she's fine. And so I remember I texted my sister. That was like the first message I sent to the group chat, and I was like, I was able to walk to the elevator. So she was like, okay. So we get in there, and luckily right before you hit the lobby, like in like the little walk-in area, they have wheelchairs there. And so as soon as I got in the wheelchair, Nathaniel wheeled me to the elevator, and he was like, she's in labor. So they immediately put me into the triage room, got all my information. And when I tell you, I wish Nathaniel wasn't in the car, like with the hospital bag, like getting the hospital bags and stuff, because they were asking me so many questions, and I understand that that's protocol, but like I really needed him to be there, because I was over here like trying to remain calm, trying to answer the questions to the best of my knowledge, and just trying to get through them so that way I could go into the labor and delivery room. So I remember Nathaniel came back into the room, and the lady did my cervical check, and she was like, you're 6 centimeters dilated, like you're having your baby today. I still remember like yesterday when she told me that, and I was just like, what? 6 centimeters dilated? Like I really genuinely feel like either I progressed fast like my sister did, where she had a precipitable labor, or I genuinely feel like I slept through 1 through 5 centimeters dilated. I could sleep through a hurricane and wake up just fine, not knowing what the heck happened. Like I'm not a light sleeper at all. Like, well, I used to not be a light sleeper, now I am, obviously. But I remember them checking me. She said that I was 6 centimeters dilated, and so they immediately rushed me to the labor and delivery room. I remember I took this video for TikTok where it was like, I want to go home, like with Kevin Hart, and I was like, oh my god, like this is really happening. I saw the incubator where the baby would go in, or at least I think it's called an incubator, I don't know. So I ended up going into there, and then I remember the lady asked me, she was like, if you need anything, like just call me, like do your call light button. And I was like, wait, before you go, like I really feel like I have to poop. And she was like, okay, let me check you again. She checked me, and I was like 10 centimeters dilated. So they were about to break my water, because they said that she was sitting up high. They were about to break my water, and then before they were about to break my water, the ultrasound tech came in the room, and she estimated Penelope to be 10 pounds 8 ounces. I was like, oh my god, like this is crazy. So the lady told me that if they struggle to get her out, they would either have to break her shoulders to get her out, or they would have to push on my stomach, and it would be a lot of people pushing on my stomach trying to get her out if she gets stuck in the birth canal. So immediately, as soon as they were about to break my water, I remember the doctor rushed into the room, like, and he was like, hey, I really feel like we should do a C-section. It's optional, but just know that if you do choose to push her out, then if she gets stuck, this is the standard precautions we're going to have to follow. The way he said it, I feel like I was emotional because of the way that he said it. Like, he was just very stern, and I understand the seriousness of it, but at the same time, like, us women are emotional creatures. Like, he could at least said it in a more nicer tone, but it was just my hormones that were like taking it personal. So I was like, okay. And so the lady that did my cervical check, she asked me, she was like, listen, like, the C-section's optional. She was like, I had a C-section and my recovery was just fine. I feel like you could do it. You could do vaginal or C-section. Like, just try and decide and let me know. She was like, but you need to hurry because you're 10 centimeters dilated. Like, we need to get the ball rolling. So I was like, fine, I'll do the C-section. So they put on my little hairnet thing. They made me take out my nose ring. And I got into the operation room, and I remember going into the operation room, and then I remember them sending Nathaniel to like this room so he could change into his outfit. And it was like as soon as I got to the operation room, they told him that they would get him back in like 30 minutes. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, but I did tell them that I did not want epidural, and I didn't want them to mention epidural at all. I told them I wanted to do it a natural birth, but if it gets to a point where I cannot take the pain anymore, I want to do laughing gas. And so they were like, okay. And so once I got to the operation room, the anesthesiologist tried administering the spinal anesthesia. And I remember the lady that was holding me, the staff was phenomenal to me. This hospital in particular, everybody's always talking down on them. But me personally, my experience was top tier. Like, they treated me like queen royalty. So the lady was holding me, and like I was telling her, I was like, oh, I'm getting a contraction. She was like, okay, hold off on the spinal anesthesia. She's having a contraction. So he's like, okay. So as soon as the contraction was over, then he was about to administer it again, and I got another contraction. Like, they were getting really close together. So after that, then I got another contraction, and so it happened like 2 times. I got a contraction, and then he had to go and stop, and then after that, then like he hurried up and did this spinal anesthesia. They hurried up and laid me down, and I kept on saying, I remember I was like, where's my husband, where's my husband, I want my husband. And like, I think they genuinely forgot about him. And so I remember seeing the text messages between my sister and Nathaniel, and they were like, she was like, go to the nurse's station, like, hurry, like, tell them that like they forgot about you. I remember Nathaniel walked in the room, and I remember it was like 10:51, and they were like, you're about to have a baby soon, you're about to have a baby soon. And then I remember seeing her up on like the reflection, and like she was not crying. Like, they had to like suck all the amniotic fluid out of her mouth. And I remember I was like, is she okay? Is she okay? Like, does she have a lot of hair? Is she okay? And like, I remember seeing her up on that thing. They sucked the water, and like, I remember holding back my tears because I was still crying. And I remember holding back my tears, and then as soon as she cried, I just let it all out. Like, I just started bursting into tears, and I was just like, oh my god, my baby. And I just will never forget that moment. Like, she was 10 pounds 1 ounce, and I forgot the inches. I think she was like 21 3/4 of an inch. She was a big baby. And so it's just so crazy. And if you guys want to use this video as a laughing stock, then here's a video of me having a contraction. Nathaniel literally recorded me. They even told me I was like the calmest first time mom ever. Because when I tell you, I was gripping on, you can see it in the video right here. I was gripping on to that freaking bed rail like nobody's business. Like, I was just gripping onto it. And I was in so much pain, but I was trying to push through it. And I remember they gave me this one pain med. I forgot to mention this, but like before she did the cervical check, she gave me Standol. And I think she gave me Pitocin too. And so as soon as she gave me that Pitocin, that shit kicked in so fast. And I remember they gave me Standol, and that didn't help with the pain at all. Like, it made it minor, but not too minor. Like, I still felt the force of the contractions, but I remember like that medicine made me so loopy. I felt like I was drunk. Like I just wanted to sleep. And I remember Nathaniel, like he woke me up out of my sleep and he was like, babe, let's take a picture before she comes. So you can see in the picture I'm like this. Like I looked like I was on cloud 9. But after the operation room, they stitched me back up. And I'll never forget whenever, like, I feel like surgical stuff is so cool to me because growing up my mom always watched House and Grey's Anatomy, so I always found surgical things cool. And I remember I was like, are you guys pushing on my placenta? Because I remember they were pushing on my stomach to like shrink my uterus back to size, but I thought they were pushing out my placenta. And they were like, no, but do you want to see your placenta? And I was like, sure. And they showed me. And it was just so cool. But it's just so crazy how fast time has flown. Like I still cannot believe I have a 14-month-old. And it's just crazy to me, like seeing her progress and seeing her do what she does. Like she's just such a smart baby. She's so sassy. She's so beautiful. She's so precious. Like I'm just so beyond grateful to have such an amazing daughter. And I know she hits me and she smacks me and she bites me, but like I'm gonna miss these days. Like I wouldn't want to get bit by anybody else. I wouldn't want to get slapped by anybody else. Like this girl is my world and I would go to war and back for her. And she just means everything to me. That was my labor and delivery video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. Also subscribe and hit that bell icon so you guys can get notified every single time we post a new video. Well, not we, but me, because this is my YouTube channel. So yeah, love you guys with all my heart. Thank you so much for all the 83 subscribers. You guys are truly awesome. We're gonna keep climbing from here, okay? We're gonna keep climbing and climbing and climbing, baby. So love you guys so much with all my heart, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.